Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the stock market update video and commodities as well. So today we'll be doing support and resistance levels as well as the most likely scenario where the price would be heading into tomorrow. So we'll be looking at natural gas, UNG, gold, silver, and the US dollar, as well as QQQ, S&P 500, Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Meta. And if you guys learn anything, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And it's always appreciated. Let's get started. So looking like we broke the $3 range support, and you can see that after we broke that, there's a lot of follow through from the bears. And now we pretty much gave back all of this move after this downtrending resistance breaking out. Now we're pretty much sitting right at the next level of support. So we broke $3 and went straight to the next level of support right here. As you guys can see, this prior 2.95 zone, rejection, rejection, rejection. When we finally broke out of that, we had a nice move, and now we give it all back, which is pretty much the characteristic of natural gas. As you guys can see, every time we have a big bounce, we usually give it all back. Big bounce, give it all back. Bounce, give it all back. We'll see if the bulls can play some defense down here. Otherwise, we're going to start coming back to low of the structure, which is not good. And funny interesting is that we are now in a daily downtrend because of this little pivot here. So this was the bounce. This is where we're supposed to bounce off at $3 support and head higher for potentially a daily lower high being set, and pretty much we set it right away on the same day, and that was it. Now we have a daily downtrend back to the bears after breaking that $3. Definitely a big win for the bears at the moment, 14% down, and no signs of a slowdown yet because we zoom into the hourly charts and you can see that this is still an hourly bear flag at the moment. This drop, and there's a shallow bounce. So the bear flag is a 0.382 retracement of bounce. So if you measure from the top to the bottom, we're nowhere even near 0.382, which is yellow box. It needs to bounce above that to negate the bear flag. Currently, it's a very, very shallow bounce, and we're still within that bear flag zone. So if we break below today's low, that's a confirmed bear flag, as well as breaking some key supports, because now we're breaking out all this top, right? You can see all these upper wicks where we were rejecting prior. So we want to see it bounce over here. As well, I can see the amount of volume traded in this area is pretty much the most volume natural gas traded. So if we cut through that, then that's a huge red flag. So we don't want to ideally bounce from here. And if we do bounce from here, then we're looking likely at some kind of equilibrium, just like a tiny range. Big move up, big move down, bounce here, then we may start to shape up a tiny range. No signs of bounce yet still. Keep talking about this over and over. I want to see hourly uptrend confirm for us to potentially say even be able to start looking for a bounce. And for this entire drop, we have not seen any kind of hourly uptrend. Hourly bounce, try to change the trend here, failed, rolled over. Same thing here, hourly bounce, try to change the trend here, double topped, rolled over. Try to change the trend here, bounced, rolled over. So no signs of trend change yet. For a trend change, we need to set we need to bounce like this. And the pivot is going to need to be higher than this one, and then break above this prior high for it to be a trend change. So it looks something like this. That is break above this high for an hourly trend change to an uptrend. As of now, no signs of that yet. So no fake outs on the hourly trend. As long as hourly is in a downtrend, natural gas will probably continue to drop. But we are at some key supports, so let's see if we can get a bounce here, get an hourly trend change here or not for the bulls. UNG, similar price action to natural gas because they're correlated. So we've got that drop as well. Breaking 7.18. Now sitting also at 6.9, which is the prior support zone. You can see all these upper wicks as well. So we'll see if it goes bounce. Same thing. No signs of hourly uptrend yet. No fake outs either. You can see this entire move down. No uptrends confirmed. Double topped here. Try to confirm to here again. Topped out, lower, high, and rolled over as well. So continue to monitor the hourly trend before we can see a bounce. And this is what you want to see as a bull for hourly trends. Hourly uptrend continuing. See how this pivot is higher than this pivot. Bounce. This pivot is higher than this pivot. Hourly uptrend continues and setting higher highs every time the high is above the prior high. This is what we want to see on natural gas for us to potentially say that is a bottom bounce. So we had more follow through today. I said that daily uptrend is our guide. As long as daily uptrend is intact, no signs of red flags for oil. And we're probably testing this 52 high now. We had Jerome talk today, so that affected some of the markets and everything today. We'll see more data on the dollar as well. And hourly uptrend is going to continue to be our guide. So as long as hourly uptrend is intact, no signs of slowdown yet for oil because we pretty much closed at the high of this day as well. Probably going to have more follow through, maybe some kind of pullback and head higher. Keep following the trend. Gold here. Gold, another move. After this big move, we had a bull flag here. Perfect bull flag. Confirmed, broke out. And another one here. Confirmed and then broke out. So looking good. No signs of slowdown. Early bull flag is our guide. Early uptrend is our guide as well. And we're probably going to come up to test this 1983 zone. You can see the amount of times that we have bounced off of there. The amount of times we have rejected from there. And here as well rejected. So prices are currently below it. So there probably be some kind of rejection there as well. So we'll see if that happens when we hit it. Doesn't mean it's going to reject and then roll over like that. Just means that we might need to consolidate a little bit, take a break and see where it wants to trade after that. See, the silver is a little bit weaker, but yeah, slightly weaker compared to gold here. So let me go to this chart. Silver is not getting over this 29.3, which is $23. And gold is more of a safe asset, so it does make sense in this macro environment how gold is moving as well. And silver is a little bit underperforming, but it's not looking. It's looking okay because it's double bottom held here. And so hourly trend is still balanced. It's technically in a neutral trend after breaking this pivot, but now we have a big enough bounce where we may shape it up again. So we'll see. Just needs to break above today's high. Hourly uptrend will be back on the table. Hour is looking good. There are no signs of fake outs yet. Yep, for uptrend intact. All right, let's take a look at US dollar. US dollar is another inside bar. It's just indecision candle. Let's take a look to see. No clear direction, pretty much sideways. We need to know it needs to break this level, and these bulls wanted to hold this level. So we'll see which way it breaks. So very clear tightening range. If it breaks above 106.7, then it's a bull break. If it breaks below this 106 level, then it's a bear break. And it's looking a little like a... So we have an hourly downtrend here. So we may get more follow through here. Let's see if it's a 4-hour bear flag or not. Nope, 4-hour is not a bear flag. 1 hour is not as well because this is too small of a drop for a flag. But you do have an hourly downtrend because this is the initial drop. That's the pivot being set, and we broke below the prior pivot. And now we bounce. So if this rolls over again like that, it's just an hourly downtrend continuing. We'll see if it continues. If it does continue, then we're breaking this sideways range bearish. And if that happens, then we may potentially come down to test this 105.6 level. If you go to the 2-day, let's see. I don't like that. This one looks more like a. See, the 2 days can look like a head and shoulders, but not anymore. It's too many days chopping within here for that head and shoulders look now. But the idea is still there. It's like a uptrend into a downtrend. So if we do break, so this pivot being set now, if we do break below this triple bottom low, that's a daily downtrend confirming as well. So we'll see about that on the US dollar. All right, so you look at QQQ, moving to the stock market, and we'll look at the 7 mega cap tech stocks. Big drop today, and we had Jerome speaking today. He's a little bit hawkish, from my understanding, but everybody interprets it differently. And although he's been saying the same thing over and over, but he is a little bit more hawkish today. Market didn't like it, but the rate hike probability is currently still the same ish. Take a look here. Yeah, still very similar. A potential rate cut on June. Sometimes it shifts back and forth. Sometimes June becomes a rate hold or becomes a rate cut. So currently, we're having a rate hold all the way into next year until you can see this blue column. That's the probability of a rate hold into June and potentially one cut in June. So we'll see if it shifts or not. So far, no data tomorrow, but we are getting too close to support here. So we pretty much give back all of this bounce. And now we're looking back to this structure. So can the bulls hold this structure? We don't want, last thing we want is the bulls, the bears be able to break into this structure. Because everyone that accumulated this structure will now be in the red. And that will be start to squeeze some of the bulls out, panic sell, all kind of things, right? So we'll see if it bounces here. So if it bounces around this tiny range, right, then we may get more tiny ranges, which looks pretty similar. Big move up, big move down, big move up, just gets tighter and tighter. And until it breaks a direction, we know where the price is going to be in trading within, right? So we'll see which way it breaks soon. Because now the bears are definitely winning. But so even there, you can see hourly trend and downtrend, and that will be our guide. So what we need is an hourly bounce, kind of like this one, and then a pivot being set and break above this prior high, but it didn't. So this one failed as well. So there was no hourly uptrend confirmed along the whole way. So that's why hourly trend will be our guide. We'll see if it continue. Can this bounce and then head higher, get a hourly uptrend or not? Otherwise, it could be if there's a shallow bounce, it could be a bear flag, and then we might roll over and break supports. So we'll see these scenarios tomorrow or Monday, depending on. We have a lot of mega cap tech stocks reporting next week for earnings on the 24th. So that will definitely dictate the direction QE is going to go. Analysts are projecting negative earnings this quarter as well. So if the earnings come in slightly aligned to beat, then we may get a bullish reaction. So we'll see if that happens. Maybe something like Netflix, but we'll see. All right, so same thing for SPY. We pretty much gave back all of this move, and we're testing this accumulation zone now as well. So this is where the bulls accumulated for this move, right? So the last thing they want to do is to break into this structure as well. And yeah, so it's pretty much the last level of support. Ideally, bulls need to hold. Just same thing as this structure right here. See the bottom of that zone to 426.33. We pretty much closed on it. The problem is that we close on it without bouncing at all. So we are a little bit lower in after hours as well. So we'll see where we open tomorrow. See, we're coming into the structure where this was a resistance prior, and we're right on it. It's on the after hours. So we'll see if we bounce first thing tomorrow morning, or we get a shallow bounce and we roll over, right? We'll see how big that bounce is. If we get a big bounce tomorrow, then we have room to shape up the hourly uptrend. But if we get a shallow bounce, that's a bear flag. We had just roll over. We'll see about that. Interesting Friday. So Tesla, honestly, when it reported its earnings, it was okay. It was still green until the earnings call. It was just a disaster earnings call and just rolled over. A lot of investors hated that earnings call. And we have also broken this TL looking uptrending support zone and all looking good. So let's see where we are now. We're still above this pivot high, sorry, pivot low. Just tiny bit above it, but let's go to the weekly to see if there's anything to redeem here. You can say this is a weekly pivot, but I don't like it because it's only 2 touches here and here. So, but if it bounces from here, then we may start to ship out that tiny range more so like this. Right? So we'll have to keep watch of that. Big bounce, it gets tighter and tighter like that because we broke below this one already, currently this one. We'll see which if this can end up shaping up or not. You can see this was acting as prior resistance here. So that's 2 touches and then 3, 4. The only thing I don't like is that we don't have more support touches. This is resistance, right? I want to see another support touch that actually bounce off of it. But we can just keep it to then this may potentially bounce here. We're sitting right on it on the hourly chart after hours because we dropped a little bit after hours as well. It's around 10217, so that pretty much needs to hold there. If it doesn't hold, then this gets negated. Obviously, we can cut through it, right? We can break through it a little bit and then V-shape back up with a lower wick, but that's not something we can predict at the moment. So hourly trend is our guide. Hourly downtrend, 0 signs of bounce on the hourly. You can see even on the hourly charts, there's pretty much no green candle. So yeah, it's a tough one. Nvidia bounced this morning. Did not come from an hourly uptrend. That's why I say trends are so important. This was a big enough bounce. Couldn't come from an hourly uptrend. Gave it all back, right? So no fake outs here on the hourly trend for Nvidia. And it's starting to look like the head and shoulders might shape up if we don't hold this 420. If we don't hold this 420, we're coming back down here. So we'll see if 420 can hold. If not, 416. Ideally, we don't break below this. If we do break below that, we're coming back down to 400. And that head and shoulders may start to shape up. It's already shaping up. I mean, like may confirm the pattern if it breaks below the neckline. So we'll see about that. See very clearly on that weekly chart as well. It's a head and shoulders. Yeah, tomorrow is actually very key for for the dictating the rest of potentially the rest of the month and rest of the November, depending on which way we break. So either we break tomorrow or Monday. So we'll see about that. Apple, nothing really today. Exact same candle as yesterday. Pretty much break above, came below. Nothing to see here. Still holding above this uptrending support at the moment. It's over 177. So just a sideways range. We're starting to favor the bears here. If we do have a clear break tomorrow morning, it opens. But pretty much bulls need to bounce right here for Apple. All right, let's see how much time. Amazon, let's see. A little bit broke above yesterday's high. Couldn't get over it, came back and traded below here. So that's not a good sign. So we want to hold 127. If we break that, we have a daily downtrend confirmed. After taking forever to confirm a daily uptrend, last thing we want is confirming a daily downtrend right away. So ideally, we hold above 127 and then retest today's high to try to get it back above that high for a potential to negate that daily downtrend confirming. Yeah, but now it's a big enough drop now where next bounce is going to favor the bears on the hourly charts. We'll see if bulls can negate that. Otherwise, bears are currently winning in this. All right, Google. So Google, surprisingly, how well it's holding after such a big drop in QQQ. This thing is literally just flagging at its 52-week high. So absolute zero signs of red flag for Google. And I said that as long as Google holds above the teal looking line, which is 12 EMA, it's been bouncing off it 4 times. And there's zero signs of it. Red flags. Looks like it's flagging on a weekly. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it could be a weekly bull flag. I mean, bottom of this move to the top of the news, for sure, weekly bull flag if we don't break below 135. But let's see if it keeps flagging for a couple weeks or not. It's just the first week. And yeah, even on the 2-day, it's picking up and just flagging. Right, so we need to hold above 12 EMA, but as long as you can see this tiny range where we bounce, and this is the drop, and every time we move, it's smaller than the prior move. So we may potentially go sideways a little bit here before market picks a direction. So let's say tomorrow if QQQ breaks below that support, right? Google may also break this flag bearish as well. So it depends on the market. So tomorrow if QQQ breaks above, then we may come up to test this 140 zone. So far QQQ is looking like it's breaking bear after hours. But anything can change overnight as well in the morning. So we'll see what happens in the cash market opened and get more data. Microsoft, same thing, just cannot get over this downtrending resistance line we've been looking over for many times. Even though we got above 335 for a little bit, we came all the way back and closed below it. So I keep mentioning this, that I want to see it close above 335. Not just the price getting over it. His closes are important. You can see we pretty much close below this every single day, right? Even though we got over a couple times. See the candle closes down here. Looking like a megaphone kind. Yep, it's looking like a little bit of a megaphone to me on this. Not really a megaphone, but a uptrending resistance line. Right. See like that. Gotta change this back to my maroon color. See how clear this resistance line is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 rejections. Right, so that's a clear rejection from that zone. And does it look like a megaphone? Let's see here. It does, but we didn't touch the bottom. Initially it did. You can see how many times it bounced, bounce, bounce, bounce. And then we just didn't head that much lower afterwards. Here's a good sign. We don't want it to be, well, you don't want it to go, it's heading all the way down here, right? Then it's harder for us to bounce back above to test this zone. Technically, as long as we hold above 330, we're still in striking distance for this 335 and this megaphone top resistance. But as of now, if market drags everything down, then we probably may break 330. So really have to see if QQ can bounce from that support that I talked about today. Pretty much exactly the same spot that we are. Close that. Take a look on the hourly, right? So we are coming back to this structure here, this zone. So we'll definitely need to play defense here. Last thing we want to see is all this accumulation down here, and then we just cut through it. That would be a huge red flag. But if it's a shallow bounce, it's still a red flag, right? So we will see. And when we see the bounces tomorrow, and then we will know how shallow the bounces or how big the bounce will be. Meta here, let's see. Pretty much tried to hold above this 313, but couldn't after hours, so we broke through it. So next level I'm looking at 310. And let's see here. We have an hourly downtrend confirming because we broke below this low, and it's a little bit just tightening up. Let's see the 4 hours. You can see the range is tightening up, but it's a bear break. We broke below this low. And we are back to potentially testing the high of this structure. As you can see here, rejection here, used to act as support. So right now, when price comes down below it, we want to see it acting as support as well, just like it did over here. So ideally, we bounce from 310. We don't want to cut through 310, come back into this whole structure. Bulls. But for your bears, you definitely want to see it break that. Maybe it would come back. If we break 310, we're probably going to come down to test this. We're looking uptrending support prior. You can see this widening megaphone support resistance over here. Yeah, so if we do come down to there, we may bounce from there, depending on if we break 310 or not. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share if you guys have made this far. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. And I will see you guys tomorrow for more updates. Have a great rest of you guys' week.